for all.
Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Madam President, I move that we adopt the agenda.
Second motion.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The agenda has been adopted. Hold on, I'm having to log into the Zoom meeting.
You want to borrow mine?
I got it.
Yeah, ask. There you go.
Okay, moving on to presentation approval of the minutes for September 17th, 2025.
Madam President, I move that we adopt the regular board meeting minutes of September 17th, 2025.
Full second motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the September 17th, 2025 meeting minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? September 17th meeting minutes have been approved. Public forum, and I want to make sure everybody understands why we do it this way. We have to abide by the Open Meetings Act. So that's why we have to read our public forum the way we read it, the way our agenda is set. So I know that there were some questions about that. The Board of Education welcomes public comments during the visitors portion of the school board meeting agenda. All comments must be related to a topic on the agenda for that particular meeting. The public comment section of the agenda will be the only time the board takes any questions or comments from the public, unless we as a board choose to solicit more information from a person or a group attending the meeting on matters specific to the agenda. Are there any comments from the public? Since we have a public.
Come on with it, come on.
Paul.
I have none online.
Okay.
Nobody's online watching.
There's one person watching online. It's probably me.
It makes you feel so good.
Yeah, good, it's fine.
Somebody did.
So I do have a question on that.
Sure.
So you're saying, can they ask you a question online and you're
Yes,
ready?
they can.
Oh, okay.
They just made that change to the Open Meeting Act
Okay.
for, and where you had to live stream your meetings and they could take questions.
Well, that's excellent.
Just like what you might
Which is
have
good.
asked.
I mean,
That one very long ago.
And we have an average of
At least we don't have a bunch of like internet trolls that are.
me.
That's a nice feature.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
That's positive.
All right, so if there's no comments from the public, we'll move on to the next item, updated information from Stifle Public Finance, upcoming bond election by Nicholas King.
Brad cannot be here, I apologize, but thank you, Madam President and the board for having me. I'm Nick from Steeple Public Finance. We serve as the district's municipal bond advisor. I know it says updated information. I don't necessarily have anything new to introduce 2 weeks before the election, but I did put together a one-pager front and back, I guess, that has some kind of details, quick facts on the election, and some things I just wanted to bring up after the meeting last week and the facilities tour. I think it was pretty clear that there's a need for this election and a need for the district to invest in the facilities here. The state does not give any money to any district primarily for facilities. That's up to you all to try and fund locally. There is the ability after waivers and exhausting all your local resources to go to the state and ask for those waivers. So that is part of why you all have asked the residents and the public here to go ahead and vote on that GEO bond, is because as a school district, you guys have to fund your facilities locally, and that is pretty much your only option to achieve some of those projects of that size. Those other options like SB $9, HB $33 would not generate enough money and would not generate it quick enough to tackle a complete middle school renovation project. So a general obligation bond is the best way to maximize your local resources, and that puts you in a position where you can go to the state to ask for some of those waivers that we've talked about. That can potentially reduce your local match pretty significantly. and allow you to accomplish some of those other maybe smaller projects that we've talked about as well. One thing that I don't know if I've brought up before, but any projects you all do consider qualify for the reduced local match. That means the state's going to cover a little over a third of the project cost regardless of what you do. And then if the project does qualify for waivers, you will end up having the ability, in some cases, to bring your local match down to maybe 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. And so this is the first step that's needed to go ahead and get that voter authorization. You all as school board members are elected officials and trusted by the public, so you cannot indebt everybody else on their behalf. You can just simply pose that question. If the residents in the community do approve the election, then we would move forward with selling those bonds probably early in 2026, and that gets you guys money by May or June of 2026 on a moderate timeline. We can do it a little bit quicker if needed, but trying to have money available to you all by June of next year works out well with when the state updates their facilities ranking. I believe Superintendent Umholtz has been having some conversations already about where the schools rank and why they've moved up out of the top 100. So if, over the next 6 to 9 months, those rankings do change in conversation, that would allow you all to unlock more money from the state to potentially fund it. And then the last thing to mention is those tax rate increases that we had talked about in the back, and maybe why there is a need for a tax rate increase. So similar to a car payment or a house payment, the quicker you pay back your loan, the bigger your payments are going to be. That kind of equates to the tax rate that you would have on a general obligation bond. We've structured this bond sale, if it were to pass, in a declining fashion, so you end up paying more of your principal payments up front. That allows you to leave room for projects in 5, 10, 15 years, as opposed to trying to keep the tax rate steady. We could do that. You guys would probably end up issuing that bond payment over a 20-year period, but you would not have that drop down in your tax rate over the next couple of years. So this conversation about potentially increasing the tax rate by a little under 1 mil, I think it's 0.75 is where we're at right now, allows you to set the district and future boards up to have that conversation around what projects need to be done, whether it's 2, 3, or 10 years from now. As time goes on, you will always be increasing your bonding capacity and having the ability to issue more debt if those projects and needs come up. So if residents were to approve the election, it'll be about a 4-year increase. We believe that the taxes would go up after that 4-year period. It'll go back to where they are, and if values and home values in the community continue to go up, it could potentially be a little bit lower than it is today. So again, just a temporary increase, hopefully to allow you to accomplish more over the long run.
Can you explain the reduced Clayton's MSD's local match to 63%? Can you kind of explain like what it was and like what it is now?
Yes. So
Why?
yes, thank you. About 2 years ago, the state legislator put in the reduced local match funding. That expires at the end of fiscal year 2027. So that is another reason for the timing of this election. That reduces your local match by about 1/3, as you pointed out, on any of those projects that do not qualify for the waivers from the state. So if you needed to, patch holes in the wall and wanted to ask PSFA to help fix, drywall, and it was a $50,000 project, they'll end up covering 1/3 of that project cost for you guys. That option only exists through fiscal year 27, and as I was mentioning earlier, by the time we actually sell bonds, that'll be the middle of 2026 and almost into that fiscal year 2027. So that would, if they don't extend the reduced local matches, that would give you about a year to tackle those projects and take advantage of the reduced local match and some of those waivers that are in place from the state. And then the other option that's on there would be the one for full waivers based off your tax rate and your school district size. You just need to have your total mill rate over $7. It's at 7.5 right now, and we expect if the bond was approved, it would go up to about 8.25 for that 4-year period. Just being over that $7 hurdle allows you to qualify for waivers if those schools are in the top 100. That also is in place only through fiscal year 2027, and part of that kind of urgency, if you will, to have a bond election and tackle some of these projects now rather than in 2 or 3 years.
So that, us being in the top 100 is huge then, right? I mean, that's like a really, really, really big deal.
I think the middle school is at 110 or 111 right now. There are several applications that'll be going in front of the council next month in November. That'll give us a good estimate of how many are gonna more or less move out and move you guys closer to being in the top 100. I know there's 5 or 10 at least, so that should hopefully get you guys pretty close. And then with some of the conversations the superintendent's having, I do believe that'll get you guys in that top 100. That also gives us a little bit more time to continue planning these projects and what the overall vision for the district looks like. That way you don't necessarily have to rush into something right after an election passes in January. You can't have that 3 to 6 month period to maybe form a bond committee, talk to the community again in a little bit more detail. Now that they have approved a bond, hypothetically, they would maybe be more motivated in knowing what the money's gonna go towards. And then at the end of that fiscal year, 2027 period, if they don't extend the reduced local matches, you guys would be responsible for, I believe it's 94% of the project cost, which starts to make it prohibitively expensive to do most everything just based on the size of your school facilities.
Wow. That is depressing for other people. Not for us though. Not gonna be our problem. But that's gonna stink for somebody. So, I guess like, let's just say, let's say if the bond passes, okay, positive vibes, no negative. So, if the bond passes, then like, are you allowed to hire your own architects, like, to do whatever project you want, or is it like they have to be through like PSFA, they have to be certified with CES? How does all that work? Can they be out of state, just be licensed in New Mexico?
It depends on the project. If you are going for waivers, those would have to go through PSFA, get the approval from them before you actually hire anyone. If you hired someone to do preliminary design work and then PSFA awarded you construction money or waivers, that person would be barred from helping you. At least that's how it is right now. And so it is always recommended you wait until any awards are given to actually start any projects. If you have community members who are in construction trades and willing to walk the facilities, just give you their input. You know, that type of stuff is most likely allowed if they're a community member. But if it is, you know, in a business capacity, trying to help you guys out, I would recommend just waiting a couple more months. We can, if the election passes, we can start that application process pretty quick. They've historically done it in 2 cycles, one in January, one in July. We don't know if they're gonna open up another one in January, so your first actual chance to apply to PSFA might not be until July of 2026.
Okay.
But wouldn't you put that through like a steering committee? Who would like evaluate like architect, like almost like, well, you would get your bids and stuff from your architects and they would help choose that, bring it to the board. Cause I know last time there were like 2 board members, we had like Carl Durbin on there because he built one of our schools, Tim Callis, superintendent, and some other people in the steering committee, who got a lot of the information back from like whenever there were change orders, when there was all this stuff going on. And then it was taken to the, you know, that information was like filtered through that committee and taken back to the board.
Okay. Yeah,
And that was helpful. I mean,
I was wondering, like, yeah, if you could have, like, are you stuck to only like New Mexico contractors and architects, or can you get like, Texas is awesome, and all their schools are awesome, and all their buildings are awesome. Look at the Cowboys stadium. So, you know what I mean? I don't even like the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but
They're right across the border. It could potentially lower your cost. If they were licensed in New Mexico, I would find it hard for PSFA to argue if you're able to save the state money. So
closer here.
well, and I think that
Especially
they would
4 years.
know, I mean, getting someone in the state, I think that's more practical because they know like regulations about it.
that is
As
another
long as
good
they
point,
don't
yes.
like miscount windows, like they did last time.
I don't know, not necessarily the best.
Not if they do, yeah.
Gotta know how to count.
I'm still learning every day.
Me too.
I don't know. I was just curious about that, like
I'll look into
the
that to see
architects and that
what
kind
their
of stuff,
stance is.
how all that works.
Yeah,
That's not really your problem. I just,
no, I'll figure it out. We will generally help you guys because you'll need to give a plan with your architect and design plans to the state around how you're gonna finance and pay for it, that's where we would come in and tell them that your bond money will be exhausted during that, planning and design phase. You need the waiver for construction, and here's the proof that your tax rate's gonna be elevated in X, Y, Z. So we'll be involved.
So is that what most schools do, is once their bond passes, they try to establish like the steering committee to where they?
Depends on the district. Some do it before an election, some do it afterwards. I think both methods work. For you guys doing it afterwards to finalize what those projects are gonna be, I think works well. Just getting the timing of the updated facility rankings and actually selling the bonds. And then hopefully they'll open up the application window in January, but as a default, July would be the earliest you can apply, and so that gives us 6 months to work with the steering committee, potentially some architects as well. If you guys have sold bonds, you'd have your money available, or potentially other resources at the district to pay for someone like that, and then you would end up just having a different kind of agreement with the state for potentially that person's services.
That's what you're saying is that's basically like phase 2, you do the steering committee, and then you go out for an architect, and then you exhaust all your money through that, and then you use a waiver to get construction costs, right?
Yes, and we can get a waiver for planning and design as well.
Oh, you can?
Yes,
You can get a waiver for both?
Yes, you can, and so we'll end up going, as of right now, you have to go to the state 2 different times, one for planning and design, one for physical construction. We are all trying very hard to get it tied together because it does not make sense for you to get a waiver on blueprints but not construction, because you could potentially end up having very expensive blueprints that you can't actually afford to build on. So there is talk of making it a 1 application process, but as of right now, it's 2 phases. You'll go for planning and design, either requesting that traditional local match, that kind of 2/3, 1/3 split with the state. And then if it is one of those schools in the top 100, we can ask for waivers on planning, design, and construction.
Okay. You gotta keep your gas card good.
Oh, I know, I've been there before, and like he said, what we do is we'll start on the waivers as soon as the election's over and it's passed, we go to the waivers and stuff, and then you work with PSFA, but we get to pick our architects, we pick ours, as long as, like you said, they have to be certified in the state of New Mexico.
That's okay.
And there's some in the Amarillo area, in the Texas area that are certified. So
Love it,
that's
Canada.
good. For example, we put out for architects and 13 showed up. I thought that in all my years, we've never had more than 4 or 5 architects show up to come see they'll come see the facility and they put and then we sit down as a little committee, we pick the architect. The same thing we'll do with the construction company too. So we get, the district gets really full control of that as long as they're certified in the state.
Okay.
I have a question,
Yes.
just for the sake of minutes and putting it out there, our minutes in the paper and stuff. Can you explain how, if we pass this bond, or how other schools who have passed their bond, how they end up with all of this money for new facilities, but your bond money doesn't go towards facilities, right?
You get 100% waiver.
Yes, you'll end up getting a waiver, and then you'll put, short answer is you'll put your bond money up for the entire project. Whatever that total amount is will go towards planning and design first, because that's phase 1 of construction. In your case, $3.5 million after, cost of issuance, and then paying all of the professionals in planning and design, you would probably not have any money left. Which means the state will cover the remaining part of planning and design, and then they would give 100% waiver on construction.
I don't know how they could not give waiver, especially if your bond amount is $3.5 million, and that's not enough to cover one of the projects. I mean, I don't know how they,
James, you're not
how
gonna
they
get any
would,
heat and air with that.
right.
Ideally, you would want to have a couple of these smaller projects figured out before we go apply to PSFA, so
Okay.
even waiting until July might be a good idea. That way you have some of these smaller projects started, and your $3.5 million is now less than $3.5 million.
How do you pay people if you have to wait?
Well, you would potentially tackle some of these smaller projects first out of your bond money, and then you would have maybe $3 million left instead of $3.5 that you could contribute towards the renovation and rebuild project. The state does not cover athletic improvements. They don't cover things outside of the classroom like playgrounds.
Not even if they're used for classroom or for, I mean, if they're part of the educational day?
If it's part of the educational day, yes, they will, but it's very difficult to get them to approve a track, for example, even if the kids are running on it every single day. So if you needed to, improve playground facilities, things like that, you could do that first, exhaust some of your bond money on these other punch list items, if you will. You're not gonna get HVAC done. And then you can go to the state to apply for that, middle school renovation project, and then you would say we only have $2.5 or $3 million available. In the case of Raton, we work with them as well. They ended up having their share go towards planning and design, and then they'll have a small portion go towards construction because of that two-phase approach I mentioned. But their total project started at $80 million. I think it's north of that, towards 90 now. But they'll put $8 million total towards that project, and then the state is gonna cover the rest of it. Similar to you guys.
That's what I wanted to have in our minutes. Thank you for saying that.
Pretty sweet
That we
return on
asked
your
you
money.
Specifically, okay.
Yes, and so you guys could potentially, if a middle school, I put it in here, I did not. We can look at what the school facilities are approved for square footage size, and then times it by $500 or $600 a square foot. You'll see it's $40 million easy to build just one school building. So that means if you have $2.5 or $3 million after some of these other projects that the bond committee does approve or talk about, that you would, most likely go through all that money on planning and design. There's a chance the state says, use $1 million for planning and design, we cover the rest, use $1 million for construction. They always want to see some skin in the game for the districts. That's part of why they have those mill levy requirements, part of why they want you to go to a bond before you apply to them, just to know that the district and the community have tried everything that they can locally. One thing we brought up, that's different than you and a lot of your neighboring school districts. Pretty much everyone from here to Santa Fe who's doing a new school has to have their mill levy over $10 right now because they were in that first phase of districts. You guys are in the later phase, and there was an update in April of 2025 that now makes you qualify for full waivers at the $7 mark, we believe.
But that's not gonna penalize us in any way in the state's eyes, right? And like, I mean, they're the one that lowered it, so like,
That's
you
correct.
see my point though?
It
Like,
will not penalize you, it actually
Yeah.
benefits you, so I know.
totally benefits us
We've
by lowering our
been
taxes.
talking about this for a year and potentially considered a special election. It's actually worked out better by waiting because now you do not have to have that same tax increase. So originally it was a $3 or $4 increase, and now we're less than a $1 or $1 mil increase on it.
Yeah, because when we originally talked, also for the minutes, they said it was gonna be, $8.25 or $7.25,
Maybe
right?
all the way up to 10.
Yeah, and then it dropped to like $275 a month for $100,000 for your home, right?
That's correct, yes. So it ends up reducing.
They haven't passed dropping the cap to 8 million either, when we originally talked about it.
No.
It was at 10.
Yeah, it was
still,
a 10.
so.
And when did they do it? Was it last?
That was at the end of the last legislative session, so the
July.
governor signed it in April of 2025, she finalized it. And then I think by the time PSFA and the state implemented it, it was like June or July. So you guys, there's a couple schools ahead of you, obviously, the group that got in through this July application window. Some of them could qualify at these lower rates, but for the most part, they all went to an election a year or two ago with that assumption they had to be at 10. Maybe they've changed it, but again, it works out if you're able to pay back debt a little bit quicker as well, so you can leave room for projects in the future. And if you do have a level debt, you'll just never pay it down quick enough to get to that point where you can add new projects on in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so
That
much.
was a good thank you.
Nailed it, as always.
That's right.
Any other questions?
All right, y'all.
You should just move to Clayton. So you
I
don't have to drive.
was in Fort Worth yesterday, I thought about driving back, it would've been a lot easier. I guess I came back this morning, but yes, it's been a fun day.
Yeah, it's all good.
Or where it's Satan.
I like it here.
I'd much rather.
We need you, Brad. Come on with your bad self.
If you guys don't have any other questions, between now and November, we'll end up being back probably at some point in the winter, but I'll talk to the superintendent and we can come back as needed.
Well, we can always, I mean, it's okay, we can jump on Zoom
Of course.
at the last minute where you can't put a trip.
Yes. Happy to.
I
Thank
appreciate you
all.
coming all the way up here though, that's big.
Yeah, we do.
Of course. Thank you.
Good luck, fill your freezer.
I'll report back.
All right, any more questions? No? Anything? Okay, moving to superintendent's report, Mr. Arnold.
Okay, I start off, which was kind of, this morning we had a bus accident and everything, everybody's okay, there was no students on it, but, our bus did get hit by somebody else. And so, our driver went to the hospital, got checked out, and that person's okay, so we're very fortunate that, so that took place this morning. Also,
Is the bus total?
no, well, it's gonna have to be, I don't know.
Was it a big
We're
bus?
We're not gonna be able to
A
use
little
it,
bus?
yeah, it's a little bus.
Little bus?
So we had it towed in, but we probably could have drove it.
I don't think so.
We did the back end of it, so the car was lost.
Thank goodness everybody's okay.
They're gonna be okay?
Yes,
The other people gonna be okay? Good.
yes, so and then of course, I don't know if, Gus and I were on the radio,
Saw it.
Tuesday, and I even had people come to office already, and had some good conversations.
Good.
First of the day, spent about 45 minutes going over, and they were excited about hearing that, and they said it cleared up a lot of information for them.
Good.
So I was really proud of that, and there was no doubt spread the word about what they learned, because they said, it's one of you, why don't you go up there and ask? And so they gave some good information out, so that worked out good, and I did us some more up there. Nick talked to us. And also, we just spent, I gotta give kudos to my administrators and my office staff, we're trying to go digital, or go electronic with our forms and things here at the district, so we spent 3 hard days coming up with forms, and we're still working, it's gonna take us to June to get all of our forms and everything, so that we work, it's a program called Karina, and, I think it's gonna work out great for us, it's gonna make it easier for our whole staff, also like community, asking, requesting for, use our facilities and things like that, we'll have it all electronic, and it's gonna make it a lot easier, I think that's gonna be great. Also to bring up, again, I think I've mentioned this before, we're having the boiler, the new, boiler, the old building's going down, so we have to get the boiler moved. And of course, the PSFA is paying for the rent, even our boiler's only 5 years old. The boiler,
Oh,
the old.
gosh, I didn't know, I totally misunderstood what you said.
Okay, yeah, the boiler has to be moved, and so they was talking about moving the one that, because we put it in 5 years ago. So they just move it and then make the transaction, would just be too hard, so PSFA, and we've gotten full to go ahead and let's buy something. So that way they can put it in, and when they switch over, it's gonna be easier, and then we won't have to lease it, things like that, so that is really good, that's a big chunk of money, but I've been working with our PSFA representative, and we got that approved last month, so we're very excited about that. So we're working on that, our new boiler replacement here at the high school.
I'm glad you're planting some seeds with things, that's good.
Yes.
All right.
So we're working hard on that. Like you said, I'm still working with them to try to get clarification about our rankings, because I think they're wrong about that, so. Be there in Santa, their office is in Albuquerque, been there a few times, so I know where I'm going. So we'll continue working on that and getting the best for the district. They're still working on the fire panels, as most of y'all know, but if you was at the forum the other night.
Hey, way to hold it together.
That's the only building that the sound is silent forever else, so we're still working on it. We'll all be glad when they're out here on that, so. Still got a lot of meetings coming up with PED, because this is our time of year, we start doing our, destinations and things like that with the state, we're going through a new system. So that, I think that's really going to be beneficial for us. Also, all the scores in the state will be posted for all schools November 15th, we'll have those before, we've got a few tonight that we're going to present from the staff here. And then, the next board meeting, we will have a bus presentation. Gail Jeffers will be here to talk about that, we'll talk about the future, and things like that. We've got some things to really bring up and about our audience coming up on our bus, so that'll be coming up the next board meeting. And that's all I have, if y'all have any questions, then I wanna go ahead and, after mine through Chelsea, she had an appointment, an engagement tonight, so I told her I'd go ahead and do her presentation, so. Do I have any questions?
I don't have any.
Been real busy, I'll tell you that, this morning, we talk about that. Okay, here's Chelsea's,
Thank you all.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
good night.
y'all
Appreciate
should
it.
see this sheet on there, the
Be careful going
Alice,
home.
she gave me her scores and stuff, and they're good. If you look at the third grade, last year's third grade, they did wonderful. If you just look at those scores, if you see how, there's only 17 that was novice, it goes up to the Miriam proficient 38, 21 proficient, and 25 were advanced ELA. Well, that's impressive, that's very impressive. Also with the mathematics, you only had 29 that was novice, and then 42 nearing, and 29, so they really raised that math score, that's great. In fourth grade, and she's got some goals there set for them. If you look at the ELA, they had 32 still novice, 26 nearing proficient, 26 moral proficient, and then you had 16 advanced. And that was in language arts, and then the math, of course, that's the area for the whole state that everybody's been working for. The fourth grade last year was 52% novice, 32 in nearing proficient, and 16 on proficient. You'll turn that page over, and you go to the IRED, and that's beginning of the school year this year. And you'll see that overall placement for, those are grades K through 4. You had a mid or above grade level was 6%, 18%, and it's like, I'm sorry. Let me see how to read that.
Yeah, it's,
That's
the
right.
6 is mid or above grade level. and
Okay,
then-
and then 18 is early on grade level.
Yes.
And then if you look at the 60%, 62% are on grade level. And then there was just the 8% and the 7 on the 8 students. So that was very good for the 8 students in that.
It says one grade level below, right?
Yes, the yellow is 1 grade level below.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's like a third grade.
Correct. So she-
Well,
Well,
those
But
are
for
K
the,
through 5,
for the
so
beginning of
it's.
the year data.
that's the beginning of
That's
the year.
that's always gonna show. I mean, it's just,
That's right, because the beginning of the year, they're showing.
And that's the whole Alvis, not one grade.
Yeah, K through 4.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's
it's
okay.
always gonna take a dip after May regardless, because they haven't had any school for 3 months.
So then they'll get the already at the mid-year, at the end of the year. Same thing with the math, you see that the scores there, and that's, of course, our goals that we, and Elvis, tested 2 to 3 week, second or third week of school, August 18th, so not gonna get this tested.
Is there a set time? Sorry. Is there a set time that you have to like test on something like this?
Pardon the interruption. Someone drive a red truck outside.
Mine's white.
I backed into a red truck trying to dodge a dog.
Oh,
was running
that's,
in the street.
it's,
Oh, that's victories.
Like across the street, and there was a dog running.
Dang it.
That's
Sorry.
his victories.
It's
It's
victory,
okay.
it's
It
all
was like this big running around in the dark, and I did not see her.
What's wrong with you?
It sucks. Especially when you go all the way up here. Or you come here for a half swoop. Yeah.
Yeah,
let's not talk about that.
we're not gonna talk about that though, Gus, that's just bad.
What was your question, though? You were
Say that
asking
again.
about-
We always try to test in the first month of school,
Okay, so there is like a set time
There
that
is
you're
a
supposed to
window.
do
the
it.
window, that's correct.
There is a window, and like right now, this is beginning of the year, and then middle of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I think middle of the year is in November is when we test, but it's already, cause Stephanie has already told us when we're testing.
I thought you were moving away from iReady, so,
Well,
oh, just
Or the
right.
high school.
no, I moved away
Okay.
too, but they're still the same, you still have to have windows.
So is it the same, you do it 3 times a year, or is
Yes.
it twice a year?
Beginning, middle,
Three.
you have to by law.
Yeah, we
Three.
do, that's a
Three
requirement,
and
that's
formal
assessment
assessment.
requirement.
Sure, we've gone over all that, I just forgot.
Beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So on her back page, she put all of her goals on there, grade level, proficiency goals, like, and they want to increase their ELA and math, well, the math especially will increase 10%, and I think that's a goal they can really reach, because they're really tackling that and doing a good job. Progress with monitoring through formative assessments, the PLC data reviews, iReady data, classroom walkthroughs, they're aligned with tier 1 and tier 2 intervention instruction. If you said, she's got, and I like the way she bulleted the steps they're taking. Like we have this Jeanette Walker that's coming, that does classroom walkthroughs and gives feedbacks to our administration and our teachers about ways that they could improve. It's many professional development session focuses for them for critical thinking skills to help the pre-K through 4. She'll be here, and she's really good. So, so there'll be classroom walkthroughs conducted by the site administrator to provide support as needed. The building mentor team, of course, is Ms. Levi, and she's so excellent at working with everybody there and helping them. 3rd and 4th grade level meetings at the beginning of the school year to address deficiencies in math curriculum. So that's really a focus, and I think it's a lot of schools, is we're really focusing, especially that 3rd and 4th grade math, to get a good foundation. So when they
They're
come
starting
back.
algebra,
Yeah.
3rd grade.
Yes, they are.
Are they really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the basic algebraic, yeah.
yeah, they do.
I've even been impressed by some of the math that Bryce is learning right now. When they're doing big numbers like adding and subtracting,
Yeah.
doing some multiplication and stuff in the 2nd grade. So,
Yeah.
nice.
And then she's doing the crosswalk documents that were created by 3rd and 4th grade design connection for their math CCSS standards with math lessons with iReady math curriculum to help the teachers. And I think and they revisit that frequently and keep updating that. And then she put down for her upcoming events, October 21st, they're doing their 9 weeks honor roll awards at 12:30 at the Aldous Gym. And then October 28th is picture day for their campus. October 30th is Halloween parties. And then November 19th is CES site consulting with that lady I was talking about, Janine Walker, she's great. And then, of course, the most important thing is November 20th is our big Thanksgiving meal with our families here, and that is the biggest thing. So we're looking forward to that. So do you have any questions over our report?
No, sir, I don't.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna turn it over to our junior high Kaiser principal.
Okay, I have lots of data. So we will start with, the Numasa.
You want to hand those others out?
No, I think she has them up there,
Oh,
start
there
with
you
5th
are.
grade.
Never mind.
Am I on the right one?
I think so.
Yes.
Does that have a little I in front of it? No, that's the right one.
IMS,
No, that's
MSS.
not the one I want the other one. Just the MSSA.
5th grade?
Yes, but just MSSA. And who knows, I probably messed it up.
It says MSSA.
Okay, that's the one. Does that say 5th grade? Because my eyes are horrible.
Yes.
Okay, and I did cheat notes because it took me a while to fit that's percent. I'm like, I don't even have that many kids. So that's 21%, okay? So reading novice in 5th grade, 21% would be 6 kids. For 32% nearing proficient, it would be 9 kids. Proficient would be 7, and advanced would be 6, and that is out of the 28 that was tested. That's for language arts at the end of the year last year. For mathematics, there were 10 that were novice, 12 nearing proficient, 4 proficient, and 2 advanced. And we see that going up with the math. The math is, we're just struggling across the table with math.
Why
for-
is that? Like, why do you think that is? It seems like that's like a statewide thing.
Well, I
but
think
like-
part of it, you want my personal?
I want it all,
Okay.
yeah.
What I think is whenever they put in Common Core, whenever they pushed Common Core out, they didn't do it like kinder and then first and then second and then third. They did it like kinder first and then we're just gonna push it out across the board. And when they did that, there were gaps, huge gaps in kids and learning because they moved it forward, like kids that were learning, they moved fractions, like going, used to fractions was like more 5th, 6th, they pushed it down to 3rd, 4th. So there's a lot of things that's going, does that kind of make sense? It's like way more intense, but yet we're not getting the basics.
I guess I don't understand what Common Core is.
That's the standards that they pushed out
State standards,
before.
like, this is what you have to teach. These are the things that you have to teach in 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, in math.
Common Core standards.
Whatever.
And it's in math and it's in language arts.
So they moved from New Mexico standards to Common Core standards, so there's a lot of states that have Common Core standards math Common Core standards are not very good. ELA Common Core standards
Because they
are
build
good.
on each other.
But, so it's like, I think their idea was to keep states more, alike
Yeah,
than
level.
so different, you know, when
And,
they.
and two, like, a lot of things in math, I mean, with reading too, but math, kids are not, their brains are not ready for certain things. Like fractions, I just use fractions. Fractions is a concept that's very hard for kids to get. Because all your life you've been taught the bigger the number, the bigger the piece. Well, fractions is the quite opposite. And for some little kids' brains, sometimes teaching that in 4th grade, they're not really ready for that quite concept yet. Because in fractions, the smaller the number, like 1/2, the smaller
The smaller the number, the bigger the
Thank you.
portion.
yes, thank you.
So
So
I
it's like
remember-
opposite of what we've been taught with everything
I
else.
remember a conversation, and it was before you came. And the teachers were saying that they didn't have enough materials to cover some of those things, like those identified gaps or whatever. And they went on like a whole year trying to find things on their own like teachers do. Have we provided them with the material now?
They do have more materials now, and
Because
a lot of
this was
that.
starting at elementary.
Well, see, and I can't speak for elementary,
Yes.
so I do not know, but my problem, like at our school now, it's not uniform, like everybody's using one curriculum. Like they found curriculums that are working for them, where they can teach their concepts the best of their ability. Does that make sense? So like some of them are using iReady, and then some are using in math, in the junior high, they're using, the junior high is iReady, but math is using, oh crap, the name just left me. It's not iReady, it's a different curriculum.
Not math, so
No, it's illustrative math.
Does it throw you off whenever you're taking two different styles of like?
You know what, it doesn't really matter what curriculum you're using as long as you're teaching the standards. It's not about the curriculum, it's about the standards. And as long as I am meeting all those Common Core standards, the curriculum that I use, it doesn't matter. Because as a teacher, you go in and you look at this standard, okay, I have to teach how to add. What is the best way for me to teach these kids how to add numbers? It's not the curriculum that teaches the kids.
So I guess my question is, has anybody gone back to the teachers and said, and I'm sure you have, or I'm sure the teachers would speak up, but a lot of times they just gather it themselves. What can the district provide to help you with resources for math? Or for, what do we need to purchase as far as curriculum, if whatever we have is just not enough?
I did that last year at the end of the year, whenever I said, okay, what do we need? And this year's a math adoption year, so hopefully,
Okay.
with the math adoption year coming into place this year, that it will maybe nip some of that,
Well, I would hope every single teacher that teaches
goes
math
to math adoption.
should be, in on that decision.
Yes, ma'am. And usually it's in, we've been having this conversation, it's usually in Ruidoso. And usually it's on a Friday, Saturday, maybe a Thursday, which is perfect because now we don't have school on Fridays. So it'll be a little bit easier for them to go. The hard part is when you have all of them gone, you don't have anybody to watch your kids. Because if you think about it, every elementary teacher teaches math.
Yeah.
And then all 4 of my elementary teachers teach math, then plus Mr. Maestas. So just in my building alone, that's 5 teachers out. But I also found out that every college in this area has math curriculum that they can go and look at that's up for adoption. I just found that out the other day.
And I just got an email today from all of our area schools in this part of the region, and I thought they'd read this real quick. Several years ago, when ELA was Instruction Materials Adoption, HPREC facilitated a group of teachers reviewing and evaluating curriculum options. They requested samples set up online presentations by vendors to facilitate conversations among the ELA teachers. Can we do the same this year for the math teachers? So I put in that, yes, we'll join all the rest of the schools so we can start looking at it that way, like you said, all the teachers.
And
all
give
of that.
them what they
And
need,
pick what,
whatever they need.
I know I've been approving a lot of requisitions, especially for,
Well, that's just
special
one of
ed.
those non-negotiable
for-
things that,
yeah.
yes, get what you need, I mean,
They're
They've been
behind in
learning
math, like
manipulative
they've stayed
math.
behind forever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If you get behind in math, then it's like you're behind the whole year. And like,
Well,
it
and
just
two in
builds
math,
on
we kind
itself,
of,
and then it's like a nightmare, like a snowball. I've struggled with math for sure in school.
well, I mean, like, when I was growing up, it was rote memorization. Like, how many of you remember multiplication facts?
Yeah,
Like
with
multiply,
flashcards.
add, subtract, divide.
Nobody does that
For
anymore.
some reason, we kind of went away from that, and my teachers now, huh?
because we went to common core.
Well, I know, like Saxon math was the greatest ever because it spirals.
So is Shirley English.
Shirley English, because it spiraled, because it goes over a concept and it doesn't just touch it one time, we keep going back over and over and over and over. And that's part of the problem with math, is everything, you need to go back and refresh that. And so like, for us, in the junior high, kids that did not do well on this test, they're in study skills. Math and language arts, if they did not pass it, they're in study skills. It does not matter what grade, well, 7th and 8th. If they were not proficient or advanced, they are taking a class with those teachers to try and get them on level.
Like boost it up and.
Yes, sir.
Like at RTR.
Yes, and if they're not making the grade through the year,
RTR, I read that.
it's more like MLSS.
Multi-layered system.
It's MLSS is what it is, it's interventions.
I'm sorry, we totally interrupted your, but,
It just seems like once you, like even, like, sorry, but even like we're behind in like math for Aldous, and then it's like it just never ends. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You're right.
I mean, unless we catch that up, it's never gonna end.
and then you start looking at
Yes.
scores and you're comparing one class to another, and that's not fair, but the whole system is messed up.
Well, because you're comparing apples and oranges
Right.
instead of apples to apples.
Is Texas doing this Common Core stuff?
No.
No. And if you took these tests, we just talked about
We
that,
have to.
if they took these same questions,
You have no choice.
they would get a higher point system. But we grade so hard with the board. So their math, and that's pretty, tough to. If you took the same test, a kid that made a 44 here, it'd be a 68 or a 70 in Texas, or Arizona. I don't think they are either.
But I didn't understand that until I got to college, so
Did you,
then it meant a little bit more to me.
I have like, do you want me to go, they're all pretty
Yep,
much,
let's do it.
they're very similar to that. Is
You
that-
know what, sixth grade
is that
LA?
correct? Yeah, 6th grade.
See?
Don't make fun because I can't see. 6th grade, there were this was in language arts, there was only one child that was, novice in language arts. 12 nearing, 9 proficient, and 9 advanced, which was really good. And then here, I was pretty impressed here. Math for the, it was only 3 novice, 12 nearing, 8 proficient, and 8 advanced. And this kid, the 6th graders, those are my 7th graders now. Okay.
Novice is
Novice is like,
one grade below or
One
two
below.
grade below?
No,
it's novice, the SBA, I don't know what it says on the test.
It,
I think if you were looking at like iReady, it would probably be like anywhere between 2 to 3 grades below. I would say. It doesn't, iReady and this are two, they don't talk the same language. Okay, for 7th grade, there were 3 kids novice in language arts, 6 in nearing, 11 that were proficient, and 7 that were advanced. And then if you look at math, there were 7 that were novice, 8 nearing, 5 proficient, and 7 advanced.
Novice is 3 grades.
Okay,
and that was the end of the year.
yes, ma'am, this was at the end of the year. And this is 8th grade? Yes. 5 that are novice, 6 that are nearing, 9 proficient, and 8 advanced.
Do they take practice tests?
That IMESA that we're doing is,
But is it similar to?
IMESA is
Because that
similar
matters.
to this.
Okay.
And that is why when Stephanie and I were talking about iReady and getting away from iReady, I said, well, let's just do iMasa because it's the same company and it like, it's not like a practice, but it's more similar, so then they can get used to the same format of testing. Is this 8th grade?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the freshman right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
That's bad.
9 novice, 14 nearing, but I just wanna say, one of those that's nearing, it was Spanish. She took the Spanish test.
Well, math isn't in Spanish.
The math wasn't Spanish.
Well, the directions were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 proficient and 1 advanced. Yeah, it was a little rough. I can go over the science too. ASR is, I showed that with you, right?
That's right. If she had read it, I see what.
Where the 2nd, 5th up there, I think that may be, does that say, yep, that's science.
ASR?
That is science. Okay, so this is the first, because you know, science is only 5, 8, and 11. So this is the first time that they have seen any of them for, I mean, because no one's tested in science until you get to 5th grade, because it's only 5, 8, and 11. So there were 7 that were novice, 10 nearing, 7 proficient, and 3 advanced in 5th grade.
Say that again, about the science?
Science is only tested in 5, 8, and 11 grades. Like in grade 5, grade 8, and grade 11.
Why?
Because that's the way the New Mexico does it.
Like science doesn't matter?
I mean, does
They
it?
used to not, honestly,
You see what I'm saying? That's crazy.
well, there's
Like, you
no,
see how science and math,
Oh,
the
state
scores are almost the
sucks.
same. I mean,
Yeah, that's national, the science is usually always 5th and 8th grade in all the
Yeah.
states.
It used to be
It's
that there was an
nationally
additional
looked at.
writing test, and they only gave it to like.
Think
There
about,
used to be additional
Gus, think
writing,
about
that
your
was
big
like
test
in
too,
fourth grade.
SAT, ACT.
Like
What is
writing.
it, math and
I
English?
hated that.
Other states
It's like
don't do it.
giving it.
true.
There's only
It hasn't helped me during photosynthesis.
Okay, but here's just from a teacher standpoint, you know, you can look at these scores, but sometimes these are not real accurate because these kids sometimes by, especially junior high, they figure out it's not gonna do anything to me if I do lower.
Right, but you know what though, I mean, honestly,
It's hard to get them to,
I was very impressed with our 5th grade science. I mean, when you've got 10 of them, there's only 27 kids and almost half of them passed it. When, I mean, you just think in elementary what science is being taught and then you go to middle school. Because last year it was departmentalized and they had Beckner for science. I think she did a phenomenal job
of course
because,
she did.
I mean, you think about science in elementary, I mean, I taught elementary, so let's just be real.
There's not a lot of
It's not a lot of
for it.
science going on. You're worrying
There's no
about math
science.
and reading. So first time these kids have seen science and they did that well,
And we take away a recess because we have to push more math and reading.
exactly. So I was very impressed with what those kids did in science,
I agree with you.
so,
That was great.
I wonder,
I have 8th grade too.
Okay.
And actually 8th grade, you know, I mean, there were only 1 that was novice. 20 of them were nearing, which is, and then 8 were proficient. I mean,
Much better.
it is. As long as we don't have the red, I mean, you at least are working towards something with the nearing. So. And then if I can go over the IMASA that we took at the beginning of the year. I know y'all are sick of hearing me talk.
I'm not.
This is the beginning of this year.
Yes, ma'am. 5th grade. There were 5, there's only 20 kids in 5th grade. So 5 of them are at needs support, 10 of them near target, and 5 are on target for reading. So, and to actually go back, oh, is this 5th grade still?
Nope.
Scroll down, I think. Yes.
Ah.
Language usage, which, I don't know why, this is NUMASA and it's part of the same as the NUMASA, the IMASA is the same as, and they break it down into language usage and reading. I don't know why they do that, but it's kinda nice because then you see where the kids are with grammar, cause other than that, you don't really see it with
Because
language
they're
usage.
not testing writing.
Exactly.
That's why they're using
So
two
it's the
different
same
ways.
as reading, it was 5, 10, and 5. And then math, it was, yeah, let me go back to that little red line again, 12, 6, and 2.
And this was the beginning of the year? then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is sixth grade.
That means there's a lot of growth.
There is a lot of room for growth,
there.
you know?
Ten words.
10 that were at need support, 8 that were near target, and 9 on target. And then this is kind of floored me. There's only 5 that are, need support, 16 that are near target, and 6 that are on target. And then we go to math. 13 that are need support, 9 near target, and 5 on target.
That's sixth grade.
That's 6th grade. 7th grade, there's 9 that are, need support, 14 near target, and 8 on target. And then there's 9 that are need support, 10 near target, and 12 on target. 8 need support, 16 near target, and 7 on target. And now we go to 8th grade. There are 17 that are need support, 3 that are near target, and 7 on target. But then when you go to language usage, there's only 3 that are need support, 19 near target, and 5 on target. And then there's 10 that need support, 9 near target, and 8 on target. We have an award ceremony tomorrow at 1:30 for Kaiser Junior High. We have the Thanksgiving dinner coming up on the 20th. The 6th graders are having an event the 5th and 6th graders are having an event, Monster Mash, next Tuesday for their parents and stuff. And 6th grade is doing, or the day, I don't know how to say it, but the Day of the Dead. They're doing something next, on the 30th in celebration of that with their families. And they're also going to the nursing, all of Kaiser is going to the nursing home on the 30th for a field trip. Do you guys have any questions on my lengthy data?
I wonder, maybe it's not allowed, but is there any way that we could like see data on, like, in the future, like K through 12 on like how these kids are doing in school, like A through Fs, like on the, besides like your data of like your testing, cause like I agree, like some kids.
Are you wanting to know how
some
they've
kids
done
aren't
for
good
year
at
to
testing.
year? Is that what
But,
you're
But like I
asking?
wanna know
How
like,
does that outcome compare to the outcome of their
how are they
actual
doing
grade?
in class?
Their actual grades.
Yeah, because it seems like, to me,
That's a good idea.
it seems like to me that like, no emphasis, including us, or myself for sure, like, nobody ever hears like, okay, how many of these kids have A's in their classes? Like, how many of these kids have B's, like, A, B on a roll, like, you know what I mean? There's awards and stuff for that, but like, I would like to see, like,
Well, in all of my building right
CD.
now, I
Really?
only had, in 7th and 8th, I only had 3 kids that failed any class.
see,
And in 5th and 6th, I had.
Very much
one
better
that
than
failed
last
a
year.
yeah,
class.
see, and I feel like those,
So-
I would like to see that kind of data.
And that was a lot better than last year, because last year I had an abundance of D's and F's.
So how do we make this more meaningful to them?
Until they
They're not going to.
they're not, right
How do
now,
we
a
make
lot
it
of
more
them,
meaningful?
I don't know how to make kids care.
Oh,
I wish I could, because I every day I'm like, do you not care? No. Okay, cool, am I beating your head into the ground if you don't care? I mean, we care. I don't know how to make people value education like it was when we were growing up, because when we were growing up, education was first and foremost, and I don't know how to do that.
Well, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm sure there's a lot of schools that have come up with some ideas that we would never even think of, right? And I don't know if there's, like, if you have friends in other districts, hey, how do you, because, I mean, teachers can just do phenomenal jobs all year long and pull out all the tricks out of their hats and they get to the test and the kids are like, click, 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 you know? I know,
I would like to see some data on that. I mean, maybe that's not allowed. I don't know if it's allowed.
well, if there's no names
I mean, I don't want any
attached to it,
names.
We
I
can
just
tell
wanna
you,
know,
I mean, like,
How many seventh graders are passing math? How many seventh graders are
Or-
passing
or how
English?
many have A's, how many have B's,
Yeah.
C's.
Like the
I,
level.
we could start working on that, cause I have access to the whole district, I can start working on it.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like all we ever go is talk about like our test
Mhm.
scores,
our
and we don't. I mean, I
Because
want to see how they're doing
unfortunately,
in class.
that's what everybody outside of here, I mean,
And we've
That's
had
what they look
spotlight
at.
schools.
and to me,
But we've had spotlight schools, I mean, we have great schools, great teachers, and smart kids who are not.
and there are a lot of kids that do not test. They do not like tests and they do not do well on tests, but if you give them the assignment, they can tell you how to do it. Or they word it in some way on that test and they're like, what are they asking? And if we could say one word to them, they wanna know this, they would be able to answer it, but we can't even talk to them. They word stuff in ways that kids don't understand what they're being asked. I mean, you could say, remember, and they would be like, oh, why didn't they just say that, you know? I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. It's frustrating, because you know that they're smarter than that, and you know that they do better through the year, and then here comes this, and you're like, really?
Well, clearly they are. I mean, if none of them are. I mean, how did you say we're failing?
3 in 7th and 8th grade.
Like failing more than one class, one class, I mean,
There's 3 kids that have a failing grade in any class.
What is considered failing?
F,
64.
64 and below.
64 is failing.
yeah,
So.
districts set, just every district sets that too, like in some districts it's below 60 is failing.
3 in extracurricular activities. What's the deal before you get canned?
NMA lowered their standards too.
but
Yeah.
we
don't
hired
wanna do
ours.
anything.
Our standards are higher than NMAA.
Yeah, but I mean, they lowered their standards, so it's like, why?
If you have an F, you cannot participate in extracurricular
But
activities.
if you have all D's, you can play.
Nope, you have to have a 2.0. You have to have a 2.0, and that would only be like a 1 point.
I wondered what that was, like how that correlates with
You have to have a
If
2.0
you have
and
high-
no Fs.
academic standards for like extracurriculars, you know what I mean, and that, you know,
And like
That's what they're
NMAA is 2.0, we can always go more. We just can't go less. We can do 2.5. We can't go lower than 2.0.
Well, 2.0 is pretty low.
Well, I agree.
yeah, I think it should be, I think you should have a 2.8.
I agree, but that is why we also incorporated weekly grade checks this year to say, no, we're not doing this. And honestly, I think that's helped my grading a lot.
Well, that's a good idea, and they catch on that you're watching. And the communication with the parents is key, right? There's a lot of people that can't get on to Power School on their phone, or they don't have whatever, or they may not have time during the day to look online, but if they get a phone call, they appreciate it.
Well, and two, we're having Friday school, we have Friday school once, and I'm doing it again, I'm not doing it. We've got a person doing it on Friday, and it is for people that are failing, people that don't come to school, and in my building is for tardies, I don't know how people can be tardy in that one hall, but I'm telling you, they manage it. So we are doing Friday school this Friday.
Good.
Things to do. Well, good for you.
I wish we could
Good.
raise that though. Is there a way to do that?
We can raise it.
Yeah, yeah.
Friday school? It's already, it's
No,
2.5.
raise our
It is 2.5 now?
GPA.
Right?
No, word
No, 2.0
it.
is NMA.
NMAA is a 2.0, okay, and when I got here, that's what we went by was a 2.0 deal. So this second 9 weeks, I actually took the kids into all the athletes, because it's hard to, I have nothing to hold over other kids. I can shake a mean finger at them, but you can't do anything else about
Even
it.
if they're in band or FFA?
Band, FFA, all of those kids were in the cafeteria with me. Anybody that's in any kind of extracurricular or athletics was in there. And I told them this 9 week stuff is changing, I'm holding you to a week. If you're not passing, you're not playing, I don't
Sweet.
care. I had coaches come to me, they're not happy, but,
Well, they need to reinforce it.
it's,
And, I mean, reinforce.
I've changed a lot of stuff. and here's the deal, Mr. Wood, you can only change so many things before it starts hurting you. So, I'm trying not to get too carried away with changes, because I have changed a lot of stuff. Mr. Moulton and I have talked about a lot of different things, and we changed quite a bit of stuff. And it's hard to
Do it all at once.
do it all at once, or it's gonna crater the little, so.
And I just looked it up, for the 9 weeks, we had 14 high school students fail A class, and only one of them was involved in athletics or activities. That was at the 9 weeks. He's now looking at it weekly, so that might change, but at the 9
It's for
weeks.
sure better than it was last year.
Absolutely,
Well,
100%.
and that's the whole
Oh, yes.
problem, like he said, we don't have anything to hold over those that
By a lot.
aren't
Oh,
in anything. You know, that's where it's the kickers, the ones that are, the ones in my building are those that aren't in anything, so it's like, what do I do?
I do like the whole idea of, hey, you don't get to leave for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because that,
Started there.
whatever that means a lot to a lot of them, and, I mean, okay, we're gonna figure out where what your Achilles heel is, and
I agree.
we're gonna go after that.
Well, I appreciate that, that you guys are like that, sorry.
No, I mean, and it's, hopefully one day they'll realize it was to benefit them, for them. Okay, sorry, go on.
Okay, you have one mind?
Yeah.
Are you done? I'm
Do you have
sorry.
any
I'm
questions?
done.
Thank you.
Do y'all have questions
It's
for
been
me?
a lot of work, and you know
No.
what, I hope the teachers, I mean, just keep pushing forward, and it's difficult.
Okay, so high school's a little bit different than the other two schools, especially in the amount of extracurricular stuff that we have. I mean, she has the same sports and stuff, but, a little bit different numbers and stuff like that, so I kinda went through, things that's going on at the school, and then I'm gonna get to the little bit of data that I have since I come to this school. It's not impressive at all, so there's not much there, but football continues to roll on. Gosh, it's been a tough year for us. We've lost 5 starters that went both ways. When you take out almost 3/4 of your team, it makes it really tough. And the kids are still playing hard, coaches coaching hard. We just don't have the kids right now to play there. We don't have the athletic ability to actually fill in, actually pull one 8th grader up, which helped us. But then it hurt the junior high team because he was a starter both ways, so you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it's not helping, it's really not helping, it's just a tough year this year for our kids. Excuse me, volleyball has had a successful season this year, unbelievably good, they're almost at a 500 season, right now. Looks like they could possibly make the playoffs, get into state, is what we're hoping for. To give you a little, idea of what it was, last year they were 1-21.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a big.
Huge improvement. The year before, I
It was
don't
a
know if they
dumpster
won
fire last year.
any.
Yeah.
And there was a couple years in there where they didn't win anything, so we've turned a lot of stuff around in there. Basketball is coming, I think we have a full slate of coaches, for the girls' team, we're still working on the boys' side. And conditioning for basketball is fixing to get started, I know that, I've had some talks, trying to get some stuff going. Problem is pulling away from football, and I don't have enough manpower to take care of in the conditioning room and stuff with athletes, and then having them back on the other side. So we're discussing a lot of things, on there, and I'm working on it. It's such a hard thing to make everything work. We just don't have enough people sometimes. That's probably the biggest thing that makes it hard. Work is continuing on the baseball field. We're watering, mowing, seeds being purchased. Mr. Umholtz and I have actually talked about planting some winter rye. We're a little late this year. Planting some winter rye for next year. We have a really pretty green out there all winter, but the important part of it is choke out weeds and stuff coming into next spring, which should help us take care of that baseball field and get it back up to where it needs to be. It's kind of been neglected, so
Awesome.
we're working on it. It's just, it's a work in progress is where we're at. FFA and band, progressing extremely well in their respective areas, as far as FFA and going to the fairs and stuff like that. The wood shop, same thing, had winners, it was the Long Wheel girl, Peyton Long Wheel won, at the state fair. She also won at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. I think she ended up winning $250 or something like that with wood projects and stuff that was done in there. The band gets better every week. Every week I try to get out for that deal. I cannot believe how much better that band gets. It just, I've never had band at a school I was at. It blows my mind how good they are, because I can, music is pretty big in my family and I can hear it. And gosh, they have just done some pretty cool stuff in there. Talking about band, in November, we've got some kids that's gonna get to go to NMU, and they're actually gonna get to play for the college band or football game.
Cool.
Which is pretty daggone cool stuff. I think that's pretty neat. The Town Day,
Hound for a
Hound
Day,
for a Day.
November 15th.
the 15th of November.
That's cool. Your son's on.
And we have 2 recent graduates on that band, yes, we
Right.
do.
Cool.
So it's kinda neat that, some of our kids are good to go, and they actually know the kids that are down there and get to see that. Yes, ma'am.
I have to say, and I know I've said this a million times, but they did such an amazing job at our regional board meeting.
Oh my gosh.
And I would like to reward them somehow with donuts or something, all of them, the 4th grade, the middle school, the high school, they did so good. But you know what? Mr. Victory knows how to build a program.
He does a good job.
He knows how to
He does
build
an
a
excellent job.
And he was so impressive, and his words that he had to say to those board members and stuff like that, that was so impressive.
Well, where I was sitting and I'm watching and I see other guys doing, and I see their foot tap hung, and I'm like, we're headed in the right direction. That's
I've
cool
become
stuff.
a group
Really
leader.
good.
Well, I agree.
They are
It was
awesome.
good.
He's
Yeah.
taken that thing from the gutter, where it is now. He's
It's-
done an
it's,
incredible job.
I think in 2 years, that's gonna be a outstanding band, is what I think, because it's a lot of young people in there. So,
It is.
Considering I have about 28 7th graders in band.
Everyone
That's
needs
awesome.
to find their niche.
Yes,
And we've
absolutely.
got a lot of kids who probably aren't involved yet, but maybe they will.
They will be. We had 4 kids that went to EMU, last week for a college visit with Cassie, and actually had some students that decided, hey, they'd like to attend there. There were some seniors that went down there, and all the students that came back, I heard them talking about positive things. They were pretty excited about the trip. Cassie said, man, they wouldn't shut up. They were so excited about going down there, seeing what it's like, seeing what that college and stuff is actually like. So I was pretty excited about getting to have a chance where you get to go to a college tour. I don't know how much it's been done here, but I think that's pretty important for your seniors to get out and actually see something outside of Clayton and see what's going on there. So I was pretty excited about that. Today we actually had PSAT testing today for sophomores. It was held in the cafeteria. Testing went pretty well. Funny thing about PSAT, it's not a mandated test. We didn't have it last year, which drives me crazy, because that's a lot of data that could come back to me, and I could see where our kids were, which would have been our juniors this year, would have been our sophomores last year. Besides, being good for the kids to take the test, not only for the data analysis and stuff like that, but it gives our kids an idea what the SAT looks like, and the SAT is a graduation requirement in the state of New Mexico. I'm going, why do we not give this? That seems beyond stupid to me. I'm sorry, but I don't understand it. So we're doing stuff that, that hadn't been there. I talked to you guys before about NWEA. I wanted to just drive back east and just whoop the fire out of somebody, because they drive me nuts. And we spent money with them, and I called them, and I called them, and I called them, and she said, well, I called you twice, and it sounded like somebody picked up, but nobody answered. Oh, lady, please, we have real phones in New Mexico. They actually ring in. So we are going to have our NWEA. We have to go through some training and stuff. It's going to actually end up being on January the 5th, to where we can have our
Maps.
it's MAPS testing.
Okay.
Maps
Okay,
testing.
sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's
That's
maps
okay.
testing.
Okay.
Another
Acronyms were
assessment
not-
before the high school to give you more.
Yeah,
It's
so-
really good data.
Maps, they used to use maps.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. But somebody thought Common Core or something would be better, so they went the other way.
I thought I read it.
I already, oh Lord. So anyhow, January the 5th will be our professional development day. And we're actually gonna do some teacher training and stuff on that. we should have data at mid-year, which should be just after the 1st of January sometime. Takes about 4 to 6 weeks to get that back, and then we'll do it again at the end of the year, so we can actually start getting some data on the high school kids, to come back and actually know where we're setting at. And it's interesting that you asked about the grades and stuff like that in there, because when I first came, gosh, it's a fight to get kids in the school before the tardy bell. We're cutting that way down, getting kids out of the hallway before the tardy bell. We're getting that way down. It's, I shudder to think what last year was like, because I would've been going bonkers last year, I promise you, because that doesn't work for me. But guys, I'm telling you, we're making so many changes, and Cassie and Mr. Minus and them have been there, they know, Mr. Umholtz has been in the hallway. We're 180 degrees the other way of what we were when we first started.
Thank God.
And just changing stuff, just little things. Just a couple other things, we did have a extremely well-attended parent-teacher conference with close to about 85% participation, compared to around 10% last year. So, people were,
Gotta get the parents buy-in, make the kids.
people were coming to look, they're coming to see stuff. It's been, now not all of those was in person, but a lot of it, I mean, there was some on the phone, but man, when you had 10% last year, that's like 0 participation.
Well, because you have teachers calling parents to come up there.
Yes, exactly.
Communication, it's effective.
Key.
There's just a lot of changes, and I know I keep saying it, but gosh, there's been so many changes that are happening that's I think is positive. November 20th, like the other two schools, we are having a Thanksgiving dinner, here at the school and stuff, and each campus is gonna be its own deal. We're not gonna pull kids from one campus to go to the other one this year. If you wanna have lunch with your high school students, you have to come here. You can't bring 3 siblings from the elementary. It's not gonna work this year, so we're changing that a little bit different story that's going there.
And they're $8 a piece.
It is.
$8 a piece.
Is it, did Chelsea say there's a three people
A
travel?
3-person minimum,
Yeah.
No,
Maximum.
or a maximum, I'm sorry, maximum.
Three-person maximum.
That's the way to get a party right there, yeah.
Maximum.
Minimum.
So,
Gotta bring 3.
So, you can't do this.
Extra credit?
Hey, you
So,
got them for parent-teacher conferences, you think you're gonna get them for that one too?
you know what, they said nobody would show up, and I fed hamburgers, and I fed 200 hamburgers. So
Give them food and they
give a
will
little food
come.
and people will show up.
Build it.
We talked that the other night, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
But I'm telling you something, that Thanksgiving meal that they make
Is bomb.
phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
It is so good.
Yes, it
I know
is.
you.
I do have some, a little bit of data here. I did not give it to her because it's embarrassing and I don't really want to get it out. I think it's absolutely horrendous. I have my reasons why I think it's absolutely horrendous.
Do we have your reason why you think it's absolutely?
Absolutely, if you want her, hang on. 'Cause I'll give it to you.
I'll take
Do you,
Okay,
do you,
number one,
do you want me to put it up here?
no,
Okay.
it's terrible. Number one, the kids didn't care, and it was iReady. iReady is for 8th grade and below, and I've got 9 through 12, and that's what they gave them. The kids absolutely did not care about it. They clicked through it and went through it. I can tell you right now, the 9th graders, that was in there, and we tested 28 kids, and, there was 3 students that tested at grade level in reading. That's ridiculous. That's not even close. So it was just a point and click kind of a deal, and the other side of it was the administration that you had in charge, wasn't worth having, and that's just a fact. If you don't take care of your business, what good are you to me? I don't need you, and it shows it. I have the same thing as far as, some of the stuff that we did here. It's on our mean score, as far as, reading and writing and stuff like that, we tested, at a 445 out of 800. Our district is at an 846, the state of New Mexico is at an 876. This is stuff that we have for last year, so it means it's not helpful to me at all.
True picture at all.
We're doing a 401 in math, the state is doing a 421. When you're below the state of New Mexico, you're not doing very well, and I'm telling you within my heart, 2 things. Kids didn't care, and admin did not push it, and it was not taken care of correctly. And I'm not saying that we're doing a perfect job this year, but but I'm telling you, it's a dang sure different than it was last year.
I appreciate it, guys.
I like that. The kids
And I
are over
appreciate-
already.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you guys have brought discipline to the school. Everything comes off of that. If you're disciplined in life, if you're disciplined in the things you do, you will be successful. And I think if you believe in discipline and you believe in what it is, then and you push discipline and teach kids discipline because their boss isn't going to care someday. You know, if they're not disciplined, you're not going to show up for work. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you're not disciplined, you will not be successful. So I appreciate very much that you guys have pushed discipline to our kids
Right, and you're at school for school.
and hold them
And
accountable.
making them
Hold kids accountable.
do school.
It's changes, it's changes.
That's great. I appreciate y'all very much.
Gets better every day.
It does.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
Not a lot. I figured my wage out on an hourly deal, I feel like I'm coaching again, so it's not real good.
Well, we appreciate it very much.
Right, right.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Any questions on anything?
And again, if the high school teachers have the resources they need
And they have backing, and that's, I'll tell you this, that's something that the teachers have told me. We know we can come to you, we can tell you, we get backing on it, it makes a difference in what goes on.
Good.
And we have a long way to go, but we're getting better.
But I guess I'm concerned about materials for math.
I have not heard one thing from Mr. Archie. Who is-
Well, he's probably, I mean.
And he has his own
Yes,
deal that he teaches on. I go into his room and he's pretty dang sharp. I mean,
oh,
I'm
yeah,
going,
no doubt.
let me see if I remember how to do all the stuff that's going on there. He doesn't have a lot of the,
Here's what that, we just approved, and I approved the requisition, because they're building bridges and roller coasters and using geometry.
we're doing a lot of geometry.
Yeah,
We're also
they're
doing
doing
stuff
some
in physics.
Making it fun.
Physics too, they're
Yeah.
doing, so they're doing some
Practical,
great
like-
projects, we
like-
bought a lot of supplies, materials for that.
Cool.
Archie's amazing.
I have never
Yes.
had a kid come to me and say, man, I wanna come just because you have such a great math program, but he's making it fun, he's making it hands-on to where
That's
kids
awesome.
can understand
Hands-on.
stuff.
They're understanding it.
That's the
great.
same in our physics with, Miss Beckner and stuff, I know she talked
Well,
about
you
her
know-
being a good teacher.
She buys a lot of supplies.
Oh, Lord.
She is.
She definitely has enough science supplies.
Yes.
Well, she probably has a lot on her hands because, I'm sorry, but that's the department that was
Yes,
almost obsolete last year. It was, science was,
she had to start out on
No,
that.
No, Mr. Maestas does a
Completely.
superb job
What'd you
in
say?
junior
It
high.
was
I do
awesome.
too.
Agreed.
I go in his class and I just sit and learn. I'm like, okay.
So we got, we'll get our math up.
we do have some great
We
teachers.
do.
We do.
Great.
Well, and, you know, the other thing is, it's like a revolving door with teachers through here. When my most tenured teacher is 6 years, that's unheard of in a high school. We should have 20-year veterans that's there, and the most tenured teacher we have has been here 6 years, which makes it tough. So teacher retention, same in sports, same thing. You can't have 5 football coaches in 5 years and have 5 different
We expect success.
schemes and stuff and think that we're gonna be a state championship team. It takes time and you've gotta
And
have
you're gonna have some
consistency.
losing seasons.
Absolutely.
And
Consistency is a huge key.
you do, you do. Well, I think finance is a big thing. You need people who wanna come to work every day are going to stay there.
It's true.
I agree.
Okay, anything else for our, thank you guys, that was very productive, I
It was a
thought.
lot.
That was awesome.
It was a lot, but it was productive.
It was good information.
Okay, moving on to board communication, banking service.
I want to turn this over to Gowan, because he looked over all the 2 proposals. You there, Gowan? I know I saw him earlier. Oh, there he is.
So I did look them over. I don't know if you can, yeah, so, your current provider actually does give a little bit of a higher interest rate, than Bank of Clayton. I did kind of like your idea of splitting between the two banks, but this is, I mean, it's up to you guys to make a decision. I mean, it has been quite a bit of work with the new bank, getting everyone with the signature cards, getting, everything correct with them for payroll and all of that sort of thing. Now, if you feel like the other bank is the one that you prefer, I mean, that is up to you guys. I do have a little bit of a working relationship now with them. And it seems like they are willing to try and at least take care of some of the stuff that I've been needing. But I think that's up to you guys. I know Bank of Clayton also has some other options on some investments. Let's say we wanted to, maybe we pull $1 million and we could put it with them. And, I mean, they just gave me kind of not a full picture of everything. I mean, they give me kind of like CDs and a few things. But I think, I guess it's what the board is leaning towards. I mean, I'll make whatever you guys work. So there, I mean, your current one, I do think that they did try to give a pretty good interest rate. I feel like, so far that they have been willing to work with the school. I'm not saying you should keep everything with them, or I'm not saying you should just keep anything. And I think that's up to you guys. I do think that the Bank of Clayton is also very willing to work with the school. They're very interested, and they do a lot for the community. So I think that it's up to you guys. But the current provider, they did give you a higher interest rate.
What is the difference?
I think it was like, let me look at this proposal from, kind of asked that, did I look at? Yeah, so it's not very much of a difference. It's like, Bank of Clayton was a 2.5, and then the current one was 2.68 or something like that. So it's pretty minimal. And then they do have, like, Bank of Clayton has some CDs, which we can do if you're interested. I don't prefer CDs only because then you're locking in that money. Where I would prefer like a money market account or something like that. That way, if you need access to it, you have access to it. I know the fees and stuff right now. Your current bank is not charging any fees. Bank of Clayton also is not going to charge any fees. So I think that the fees are pretty much the same. It's really just the interest rate, which is also really close. So however you guys want to proceed. I don't know, Mr. Humboldt's too. But for my just looking at it, it's really, they're pretty close. I know, the Bank of Clayton does get a lower interest rate if we need a higher pledge. The school has to have 50% pledge on anything above $250,000. That's required. I prefer a little bit of a higher pledge, only because of the state is really late on paying in June, and we could get a potential audit finding if we don't have enough pledge collateral as of June 30th. But I mean, I don't think that any of these banks
Freeze up.
for money. But anyways, there's my take on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there gonna be like
Like, what are the other, like, what are all our options for investing? I know you said money market accounts, does Bank of Clayton and Cross, what's it called?
Boosie.
Boosie do? Can they both do that?
I didn't really check with Lucy. On anything, I did talk to Bank of Clayton. Mr. Umholtz gave him my number, and so like he did talk to me. I had a conversation. I did have to call the Lucy on some other stuff, but we didn't really get into the weeds with the different options. I know she was talking about she could bring like a scanner to the school if you want it, and then that way they wouldn't have to, if they had checks, they could scan them from the school and deposit them that way. And there's a few things that they would do and offer that free of charge. So I think they are both willing to work with you. And I don't even know, so I think that's really up to you guys, I mean, on what you want to do.
We can discuss that more.
Yeah, we'll keep bringing
I'll
that
bring more information from Harrison.
And I don't know if it's, again, it'll take at least 3 months for PED to make any changes. So let's say if you decided tonight, it'll take 3 months for PED to get their side updated. So we need to keep the account open for at least 3 months if you decide to switch. Or like I said, if you want to split it, or however you want to do it.
Would it be a huge pain for you if we split? I mean, that seems like a nightmare.
I think the splitting would be okay. It would be probably a bigger pain to redo all the payroll files and stuff, but we can do it. I'll just have to, and I know they're gonna have to buy some new check stock and stuff, but I think they might have to buy new check stock anyways. So, I mean, I don't think it's I think if we kept it like as an investment in the other bank, I think that'd be fine. I think if we were trying to use, this account as well as like another operating account, that might kind of get convoluted. I mean, it's already a little convoluted because you have 4 bank accounts right now, which I don't know if that's necessary either. That's just, I mean, especially you have like an investment account with like 78,000 or whatever, and I don't understand the purpose behind that one at all, but, but we can do something similar to that. If you wanted an investment account with Bank of Clayton for $1 million or whatever, we can do that. I mean, that's not a big deal. However you want to do it. If you want to move it all to Bank of Clayton, we can do that as well. I do think that, it will take a little bit of time and there's going to be some work involved, but it's up to you guys. Who you feel more comfortable with working. Yeah.
So just this year alone, I just did the math. Bank of Clayton did donations like for the community between like Top Gun, Colfax County Fair, Clayton concession stand, radio announcements for Clayton athletics. They've done over $35,000 in donations just this year. That's where I'm leaning, for sure. I mean, they bought us $40,000 worth of scoreboards. They're invested in our community.
They're permanent. They seem more permanent.
Well, I mean, I don't know, we're here to better the school. That's our job, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's my vote. I vote that we go with Bank of Clayton. That's kind of my vote. That's where I stand, but I'm willing to do whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, but we'll still,
It's just under communication right now.
we won't vote for anything, but,
Even then, that's what we need.
I hear
Just
you.
so in the future.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay,
Very good.
well, we'll have it on the agenda again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was good.
And really, it's whatever y'all decide. Yeah. But to me, Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, moving to summer rec, resolution on the summer rec program. Are you asleep yet?
Here we go.
So, last year we had summer rec, this is just, something that, I just changed a few things, changed a few dates. But what we're looking at again is about, a total of about $45,000 for summer rec, the summer rec program. So I'll take that $1 million, that you're wanting to give away, and you can put it in my pocket. I'll do summer rec for like, I don't know how many years.
It's for you, Gavin.
Yeah.
So,
44,000 you said?
45,000,
45.
yes, total. And that would be, and I should have broken this up to fiscal year, so, the actual beginning portion of it in June, on June 8th to June 26th would fall under, the current, year schedule that we're in, so that would be the 25-26. And then the second portion after, June would be, the 26-27 fiscal year. And so it would be broken up into, 22.5 for the first, portion of it, and I think it was 22.5 for the second portion of it too. As you can see, there's itemized, things on here of what things would be used for. Last year, unfortunately, we weren't able to do a whole lot of field trips. I do wanna thank, them for stepping up, and, the CUCVP for stepping up and actually, being, the people who were our fiscal agent, but I'd like to move this back to where it belongs, into the schools, and where we have facilities, where we have, places to go for these kids. And then the one thing that I would like though also is that we kept it truly a summer recreation program, where kids came out and they did, physical activities on a daily basis. We did also do stuff inside, of the airport, but, they were actually kids. They went out, they played football and basketball, and, they went swimming, and they did all the things that I did as a kid when I was growing up here in Clayton. And so, obviously, you know, there has to be some type of, like, educational, portion to it, so that they won't lose so much of what they gained throughout the time that they were in school throughout the year. But I don't want that to be the focus, I really don't. I really wish that we could, because.
It's hard to do that on the.
Yeah, and the best thing about it is that these kids aren't at home, on their TVs, playing games all day long. They don't have, I didn't allow phones to be there.
Awesome.
I didn't allow any of that stuff to be there. If parents need to get a hold of me, I don't care, I gave them my phone number so that they can get a hold of me if there was emergency situations or whatever the case may be, and so, I think that, the bigger thing was getting them out there. You know, half these kids, they don't go outside for anything, hardly, and so they were outside, they were enjoying themselves, they played, they had fun, and like I said, the little things that we did, the reading, and, because I invited the librarian to, there, and that's what I plan on having more of, is more, people to, you know, the police department coming in, the sheriff's department coming in, places where later on they might see themselves, after they graduate from, or after they go into high school and graduate, you know, where they may be, you know, future firefighters or future school board, you know, people, they might be future, you know, teachers, things of that nature. Hey, I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, I think that, the problem is that we've gone away from a lot of that. We've gone away from, we have kids, we sit them down and we hand them phones, and they're on their phones all day long, that's their actual babysitter, but, I didn't mind being out there pulling those kids outside, and they had a great time. They were actually, like, saying, when are we gonna go outside again, when are we gonna go outside again? They didn't wanna be inside. They wanted to go outside and play, they wanted to, and it was organized, everything was organized. We had, like I said, we had flag football, basketball, but being here at this facility, we'll have everything available to us. I had to walk them from the airport to the armory a day a week to play basketball. I had to, and then plus the facilities here to eat, you know, we could bring the summer program back, and so I think it would be a good thing again, but I wish that we could be a part of that, and obviously the money's, you know, I don't know if that's available. I'm hoping that's available, and I can break it down, even more, if need be, but, I don't think that's too much to ask, I really don't, and I think that, if we can get some good people, last year I actually, I did, interviews before I hired these people, summer rec, and, you know, I think that, the people that I did hire, because I had like a 3-person panel, hiring was myself and Mr. Gabe Doherty and Mr. Sneddleson Lee. The people that I did hire, they did a really, really good job throughout the summer, so I think that the kids really, really liked them, and they really respected them, so. And that's about all I got to say about
So
that.
I think it's a great idea about bringing it here, but there's one thing that was always an issue, was maintenance projects.
Mhm.
So it would have to be like flexible with campuses and stuff, you know what I mean? But also, and you all have heard me say this before, if it was summer rec, you could get more funding for it, I believe, right? Business manager?
Summer school.
Summer school, I'm sorry, summer school, isn't there funding for summer school?
Summer school, I mean, there is some out-of-school time.
There'd be more funding for tutoring,
For
the
tutoring.
summer tutoring, that's where
Yeah.
the
But
money's at.
also,
So if we did this and then afterwards had a tutoring program that we
Like, if
incorporated.
you had your kids that were tutoring, we could pay the kids directly for that, if we applied for the program.
well, but also teachers
Yes,
would earn credits towards their retirement. If
okay.
it was summer school.
Uh-huh.
You would earn like, I think or I think it's 2 credits for a full summer, full summer, so which is a half a year.
So all we have to do is pretty much do lesson plans, turn
You
it
would
into
still have
public
to turn,
curriculum.
even if it's outside,
Yeah,
whatever it is, you would still have to prove that you were doing some kind of summer school activity by doing some kind of lesson plans or something,
Mhm.
but, and, I mean, you can, like I said, you could do that outside, but I've always thought that that would benefit staff, that you would get more certified staff interested, and even uncertified staff interested, because, it would help them with their retirement credits.
mhm. Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I guess then, if I did this the year before, and I don't know if it was summer school or not, we had it at the Albus.
It has not been summer school for a long time.
And so there's funding available through summer school.
Well,
Well, it's tutoring, it's called tutoring,
Yeah.
and they pay, but also there's tutoring, yes,
Okay,
they
But
give us.
can we
Every
see
summer,
if
they're
there's-
trying to get more and more schools to do more tutoring
Right.
in the summer.
Can we see what's available
Yes,
to
I can
help
look
out
into
the?
what grants they did last year and what that hopefully they'll continue doing, so we'll see, I can check with the
Where did
staff.
the majority of our money come from last year?
Clayton, from
Clayton, Union County.
Union
County.
County and from, city.
Economic,
Did
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, there is a county program that pays kids too, but that's for them to work.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
different.
Well, we all went and begged for all the money last year.
Yeah.
'Cause we were late.
Mr. Wood,
Well,
yeah,
we've been, this
You're
has
not gonna be
been,
late now.
well, but this has been
You're
an
not gonna be
issue
late
for a
this
long
time.
time.
That's right.
Well, but I had it before you, and I went every year, and it was still an issue, but I feel like that fiscal agent was the biggest issue. Nobody wanted to be the fiscal agent.
Can, would the school be the fiscal agent this year?
Can we look at what that would entail, being the fiscal agent
Yes,
for
we
summer?
can check into that, find it. Yeah.
It's just an
summer
insurance thing,
school or summer rec?
really.
And I can always,
Yeah,
take
all right,
some of
is
this
it
stuff
with
and
your,
change
is
it
it
up,
with the city or
whatever
the
necessary.
county?
Well, so,
Was it
we,
with the
we
city or
tried
the
to
county?
get
Both.
It was
Yeah,
both
both.
last year.
Both?
all
Oh.
entities.
Yeah,
It
both
was all
entities.
entities.
Okay, I mean,
I don't know when they go back to do their
Budget.
when is their budget due? Is it April?
does it go through, do they have a grants person, or?
No,
I'm
it's like
just,
city and county funded.
Yeah, they just.
They did half and half.
Well, the city funded, they gave 20,000, the city did?
The city gave 22.5 and the county gave 22, but I think that 5,000 of it came from, Union County General Hospital as well, though.
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
too.
they did.
Yeah, they
Okay.
gave some money as well.
So yeah, they gave
5 grand.
like 20.
I don't know, we made a lot of banners to take a lot of different people to thank them,
Okay.
so.
Special little pay for it.
Yeah.
Instead of student.
I mean, potentially, I think there might,
If there was a way to.
they wanted to send us a check, if they wanna send us a check, we could open it and put it in an account and pay people out of it, I mean.
I guess what I'm asking is there a way, is there funds available anywhere that we can apply for
Yep, there-
to help with salaries especially? Cause that's the majority of.
There might be some ECECD, which is the early childhood kind of program. They're like really pushing that at the governor's office. I know she just signed whatever, I don't know where they're getting all that money, but I know that that's one thing that they're pushing, and I know that they're like have grants and stuff.
If that would fall under.
So,
What's it called?
if you offered it to that age for kids, I think that might be a good funding source.
You say
Um,
ECD?
It's the early childhood education.
Early childhood education and part ECECD, they have like specific grants and stuff. I know I was talking to someone today that they're gonna get a grant, looking at a grant to build a pre-K, and they're looking at getting like 2.5 million from them in building money. So there's, that program, yeah, because right now we've what it is most of the grants are like, you've already missed the cycle. Does that make sense? Like,
Every year.
and I don't know on the federal level because I don't know. I can ask around. We do have a grants person that works in our office. I can ask her if she knows of some. So if this Humboldt's, or if you wanna send me specifically, hey, what we're looking for,
Yeah,
I can ask our grant lady and see if she knows of a grant we could apply for.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
she does know, like, she applies for, like certain ones, if a school sends it to her, she'll apply and work on it. So she would know more than me on if there's like outside. I know like from the state level, the only thing I can really think of is ECECD because they're pushing that so hard right now. You can always you can always use your operational funds if you wanted to I understand we don't wanna, it's hard tying stuff to that fund.
That was what we got screwed on last year though, because it was the operation funds and we were gonna run out of money in like July and between the new fiscal
Yeah, 'cause
year,
there's
right?
that-
Cause that's when it like
that
started
split.
and that was like when we couldn't afford enough money, right? Or am I
Right,
wrong?
cause there was that split.
I thought so.
July 1st.
And that was the thing, why we couldn't afford it, cause you never know when the state's gonna give you your money and that was the problem.
Yeah.
Cause it like affected both years.
Zach would probably remember.
Yeah.
But he also made a suggestion about where the money, and maybe it was through the grant writers. If you wouldn't mind checking on that for us, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, if you could just send me an email so I don't forget or I can forward it.
And I'll send you this information.
So Mr.
Yeah,
Reynolds is gonna send it.
Just send me exactly what you're looking for and I can ask our grant writer if she knows of something. How much?
Basically, we need about about $50,000?
50,000. I don't think that. I mean, she might know of something right off the top of her head.
No,
The only thing I know of is just the.
Well, hey,
E-
let's move
ECD.
it, let's move it up. We can get 50, why can't we get 60 or 70?
Yeah, and I mean,
And t-shirts and
I
stuff
mean,
like that.
that's-
Walking
yeah,
around like.
I mean, to ask for it.
How
So,
much
I know that's the.
I'll
Okay,
get that sent in now.
Backpacks.
Yeah,
And that one's.
Backpacks, duffel bags, flashlights,
all
all
right,
that stuff.
thank you,
very good, thanks.
and thank you.
Thank you,
for
guys.
providing
Thank
that.
you.
Thank
you
so much. Hey, thanks for doing that for the kids. You've done an awesome
Oh,
job.
thank you, I appreciate it.
It's a lot of work.
Thank you, Dean.
Okay, moving to item C, climate survey of superintendent's performance, and we did receive this in our email. If you looked at that, and looked at that.
Okay, there, I couldn't get, we're using that new green and I couldn't get so I gave you the link to see the graphs.
Oh,
In the comment,
I always just check this drive for you.
No, it's in the drive, it's in the drive.
Yeah,
I put it in the
it's in the
drive,
drive?
but there's a link, I didn't mean email, there's a link,
Right?
yeah, the drive, look at the drive and it says, it's called,
Survey graphs, link.
yeah, graphs link. That's what if you open that and you cut and paste that, you can get the graph to come up. Which it turned out really good. The comment was very good. It was very positive. I was so proud of, that it seems like everybody's enjoying this year. It's a lot of positive things were said, so there's not a lot of comments, but they were all very positive. I think there was only one, because you had the choice of strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly agree. And there was only, out of all of the 9 questions, there was only one that clicked on disagree. And one time, that's it, out of 58 people. So most of them were all strongly agreed. If you look at that graph. So, I thought, you have to cut and paste it. Oh,
I can't click on any of them.
I don't have it.
it's in the,
Oh, is it?
yeah, pull up the packet.
I'm sorry.
See, okay. Let me show you, 'cause it's really easy.
I'm just like hanging
Go to-
out over
Go to
here.
the packet and do the survey link. No, not that one. That was all the sheets on the survey link. There it is.
There it is.
Now, cut, yeah, you have to open it. Did it not open? Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, right there.
There you go. Then it cut off all the questions, the answers are, but go down, and here you go, right here.
Ah,
First
it's
one
still not fine.
Talks about,
Communication
There we
clearly
go.
and effectively.
right, the superintendent has communication clearly and effective with staff since the start of the school year. And that was the only 2 boxes they clicked out of the 5 choices they had. So you see that it says strongly agree. And
You haven't made anybody mad?
oh, I have. They were nice.
But he's communicating it effectively. That's the question.
That's the question.
I'm shocked.
Thank
Like,
you. They
there's 2
answered the
boxes,
question.
either awesome or really awesome?
So that's what
That's the
they
best kind
answered.
of survey to
Did
do.
they really?
And all these came in, and I don't know who they came from, because they only gave numbers, I do not know who they came from, but. And then the next question, of course, the superintendent is visible assessment to staff across the district. You see there again, strongly agree, agree.
9 questions. And there were more options. It was not just agree and strongly
Oh,
agree.
no, there's-
There-
Agree and strongly.
Yeah, I didn't give them just the 2 options, there's agree, strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree.
Nice.
So,
I'm gonna do
It
this
was
to my
it was-
kids. Like, you can either agree or you can strongly agree.
so, yeah, the choices, and then you go to number 3.
I get 2 options.
Yeah, the superintendent listens to staff, concerns, responses appropriately, and it was, once again, strongly agree, is all they answered on that one. And then we go, okay, number 4 were the only one that I got where I got a disagree. But it says the superintendent provides a clear vision and direction for the district. And then strongly agreed, we had some neutral, and you only had 1 that said disagree.
So there's the person you made now.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
If they didn't like I missed the vision, I guess.
What was the participation?
57?
Let me, does it show?
Out of the entire district, how many participated? I thought it said 57.
I think you said 42
They're showing
responses.
42.
Alright.
42?
Yeah, 42, and I had it posted for 2 weeks.
But there was only like 60 of
They go
us.
in there, it was, huh?
Yeah, there was only like 60 of us in the cafeteria that day.
Right.
So,
And I asked them to do that for the 11th, and
yeah.
Assuming 18 didn't listen.
so, yeah, and I communicated about this, they didn't listen.
Right on.
So there's 42.
I was actually gone that day.
Yeah, you were.
So it didn't record my, no.
I already know what your responses were. so
He
we'll
wasn't
keep them to
disagreeing.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and then we go to, question 5, was the superintendent's decisions have been timely and in the best interest of the students. And that was strongly agreed and neutral. We had one that said neutral on that one. And then, I don't know why, but I'm still trying to learn this agreement. Number 6 was the superintendent supports teachers, staff carrying out their responsibilities. As I always say, do your JOB, and I'll support you.
There you go.
So that came out, I don't know why they dropped. We had one that was neutral, strongly agreed, and then there's some agreed. And we go down to question, I don't know why the numbers, that's 7. 7 talked
All
about
of
the
us that were in
superintendent
there
wants a
that day
positive
took it,
and
but it was
collaborative district
almost only
culture.
teachers.
Very strongly agreed and agreed. And then
But it was
says
available
7
to
again, it
everyone.
should, and I don't know why these numbers.
Neutral to be a staff.
What shows that one again, though? And that was all, this is kind of goodness. And then we go to 8, the superintendent has addressed challenges and issues fairly and transparently. We had one neutral and the rest were strongly agreed and agreed. And that was the questions there.
Awesome.
So,
Can't beat that.
no, it was a high climate. Very, I'm glad, and we're gonna do this again. We'll keep every 3 months finding out, the pulse of the district and make sure we keep the climate up.
Do you do them per building too, like surveys per building? Or
That
do
was
you
the,
just
I
do-
can do, that's what the next
I
one.
mean, I didn't know if you did.
No, I just did the superintendent, I'll leave it, and I'll change it, and we'll do the buildings. And that way we'll have it, but it was good, it was, we did on that in-service day, and I said, you can't leave unless you go do this. They go, okay. And I had we got up to 42, I think I had 36 that day. But they didn't know that.
Pretty dang good.
But so that was, there's the climate. So very good climate right now. We're gonna just keep building on that.
There you go.
And
Amen.
that's how you keep, yeah.
All right. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for sharing it with us.
Yes, thank you for doing that for sure.
Financial matters, consideration approval of financial reports.
All right, Mr. Gowan.
So, did you want me to go over it? Did you have any questions?
There's a
I did have one bar for you, so that is your Ed Fellows. Basically, it seems what happened is that didn't get budgeted in for this year. And so that's a program that you've been I don't know how long you've had it, but I'm assuming for a few years anyways. And so we do have the MOU, with that. Chelsea was able to get me everything I needed, so, we'll get that in the budget, so we're not negative on that one. And then all the RFRs have been submitted. I have talked to your auditor a few times today, because you guys had a single audit. I guess they're waiting on something from the feds, so that deadline did get extended back to January, so it might be a little bit before we can have an exit, just because he's not able to proceed until he gets go-ahead from the state auditor's office. I think for the most part, everything has been pretty much turned into them. They're waiting on a few things and they're still going through stuff. He did tell me that you're kind of lower priority now, just because he will prioritize the schools that don't have a single audit, since those are due, they're still due on November 15th. Yeah, anyways, I don't know if you have any questions for me, but.
I'm having a hard time finding the financial reports and the bars and transfers on here.
So hover
On
over
the
the
drive thing,
agenda, hover over where it's blue on the agenda.
mine's never blue.
on the
The
agenda?
financial matter?
Oh.
I will send it to
financial
Cassie, I'm so sorry,
No,
I don't,
that's okay. We'll get it.
It's not your fault, it's Gus.
Totally me.
Say, don't hold back. Tell
Yeah,
say
you
you
get it.
feel
You got it,
bad.
didn't you?
I know it's blue. Did you,
I'm like, I know
did
it's
you get
blue
it?
right here.
For reals, you got it though?
You
Okay.
were
Big heart.
picking on the other part, huh?
I wasn't picking on anybody, I'm sure it was me, and it is.
And thank you for doing that, Cassie, because that is
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much easier.
Oh, yeah,
Easier to
way
click on
easier.
that.
So,
Yeah.
I got learned how to
way
do that.
easier.
Way easier.
Okay,
Yes.
any questions? I need.
Madam President, I make a motion, we approve the financial report.
Second.
Been
Sorry.
moved and seconded to approve the
No.
financial reports, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Financial reports have been approved. Consideration approval of the one bar, there are no transfers.
Madam President, I move that we approve the bar.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the bar, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed? The bar has been approved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem, yeah, no problem, but if you have any questions, or if there's ever you wanna pull samples or something like that, I can provide those as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
There was
We
no
have
action
no
items.
action
I
items.
cannot believe that.
Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Usually we have a dozen of
I
them.
feel like we still learned a lot though. Total man.
Right. Okay, then we have the executive session pursuant to NMSA section 1015(1)(h)(4), discussion of superintendent semi-annual review. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Madam President, I make a motion, we go into executive session.
Alright, second.
By roll call vote, please, we will go into executive session.
Gus Swift, aye.
John Trujillo, aye.
Can we out, aye. Only superintendent semi-annual review will be discussed. And we will come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Out.
Thank
Lucky
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything. Hey, thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
See ya.